this coincides with Broken Social Scene because before that, I'm going to say probably the downtime after Wide Awake Bored. My ex-wife was in the publishing business, and she worked for Kevin Drew's dad, David Drew, and she was talking to Kevin one day, and Kevin's a big indie rock guy, and he said, your boyfriend's an NC-17? He was always like, I don't recognize Treble Charger, NC-17. And so the album before the first Broken Social Scene record, KC Accidental, which was him and Charles Spearin from Broken Social Scene, they were making a record in the basement of CIUT in Toronto, and Kevin said, come and play on it. I remember distinctly, Charles is one of the nicest guys ever, but he was a indie rock guy, and when I got there, I could tell from his look, like, this was not my idea. This is some like major label sellout rock guy playing on our record. This isn't that. But I did a pass on this 18-minute song, and Kevy said, yeah, no, let's do one more, less distorted guitar. And I'm like, well, I thought there were good bits. Do you want to play it back? He said, Bill, the song's 17 minutes long. There's no playbacks, which I thought was a great. So then we started getting together in Kevin's basement in Parkdale. Kevin, Justin Peroff, the drummer, Brendan Canning, and Charles and me. And it was just improv jamming. And one of the first, I don't know, like well before it was Broken Social Scene, we did this gig at Ted's Wrecking Yard, and it was just, I remember the set list. One of the songs was just D. It's in D. And I was trying, and Charlie and I had a really great kind of indie Allman Brothers rapport going, and it was just good fun. And I played a little on the first Broken Social Scene record.
Feel Good Lost.
Yeah. I remember years later, I think I'd had some drinks and I was listening to a song and I was like, wait a second, someone's ripping off my thing here. What the? Oh, right, it's me.
The first two albums that you contributed to, the second one that went gold, that won a Juno Award. So it won for Alternative Album of the Year.
Yep.
As someone that contributed but isn't officially a member of the band, is that considered winning a Juno? How does that work?
Well,
I would tell people that I've won a Juno. I'm just saying.
I was at the Junos, and I did go on stage to accept it with them, but I don't have a statuette, so I'm somewhere in the middle. I always refer to myself as a founding non-member of Broken Social Scene. One of my biggest regrets, I think, if I'd learned saxophone or trumpet in high school, I would be in Broken Social Scene, no question, because they always want guys that can multitask, and they always want guys that can become the horn section, like Charlie.
They've got enough guitarists, I suppose.
Yeah, they've got enough guitarists.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's been a great. Kevin's an awesome guy, and I knew Brendan Canning. He's, I would say, the first champions of NC-17 in Toronto were Brendan Canning and Dave Bookman. So, I've known Canning forever. We did one of our first cross Canada tours with Head in the summer of '95, and they're all great people. And I was lucky enough to go on when Kevin did a solo album called Spirit If. I did a European tour with him, which was just amazing fun. And it was, again, it spoke to the, Treble Charger, we're all mostly Sault Ste. Marie guys. We grew up in, a very toxic masculinity time. So I just remember being on the tour bus, and every day, everyone hugged each other, good morning. And I thought, like, wow, this is amazing. In Treble Charger, there was no touching.
Yeah, there was a no touching rule.
Yeah.
So I have some kind words here from Brendan Canning of Broken Social Scene. So he I don't know him that well, but he clearly has a sense of humor. So he says, Bill knows that I think he's a legend. Ask him if he has reasonable accommodations if I come to Sault Ste. Marie with my girlfriend and Chihuahua.
uh Geez, I wish I could. Yeah, I could come in the summer. I think I can get you put up at my brother's cottage. Uh, I myself don't have much reasonable accommodation, but I could probably make it work. I never really liked your Chihuahua. Sorry.
No pets allowed. That's too funny. That's too funny. So I have a little blurb here written about Broken Social Scene that I think you'll appreciate. So it says the collective and the respective projects have had a broad influence on the alternative music and indie rock scene during the early 21st century. In 2021, Pitchfork listed the band among the most important artists of the last 25 years. So my question is, how amazing is it to not only be a part of that, but be there basically at the inception of it?
It was so. I remember when because we did Detox, when we finished Detox and they finished You Forgot It in People, then I was touring Detox and essentially like lost my place in the Broken Social Scene band, and Andrew Whiteman came in, and but it was I had a copy of I had like 5 CDs of the record when I went out on tour, and so like the coolest promoters and music people that I found was like, okay, this one's for you. And I remember thinking, like, I would say to people, this is going to be the next big thing in Canadian indie rock. Trust me, I will stake my reputation on this. Well, I was almost right. I just wasn't right about the Canadian part, because they became a indie rock phenomenon everywhere, not just Canada. So I wasn't thinking big enough, but it was, I'm really proud of my small, I do the Pacific theme arpeggio thing. And so whenever I get a chance to play with them, I usually jump up for that song. And yeah, they're just great people to work with, and yeah, it's just I'm very, very proud of my association.